My name is Miss Mimi and welcome to another episode of Stories and Drumrolls Tales. I'm so excited to be here with you again on another episode, and I'm here to read to you from one of my favorite authors. So when I was a kid, just like you, I used to enjoy reading Enid Blyton's books a lot. I grew up reading them and I feel so good to be able to share the love for Enid Blyton's stories with you today. I feel so good about it. So stay with me. Today's story, the book is titled You're a Nuisance, Mr. Meddle. Those are really big words. If you don't know what it means, you should ask mom or dad. What does it mean to be a nuisance? And why do you think his name is Mr. Meddle? Have you heard the word before? Let me know. If you haven't, you should get a dictionary and ask mom or dad what the words mean. Today's story in this book is titled Mr. Meddle Makes a Mistake. And I do think you will enjoy listening to this story. So let's dig into it. Oh, before we do, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you get notifications on when we have new videos posted. Let's go now. Once upon a time, Mr. Meddle had a party to attend. The party was at night and the street had no street lights. So that meant that Mr. Meddle needed his torch to go to the party. So he goes and picks up his torch and he looks at it and says, "Oh my goodness, it's broken. No lights. My torch doesn't work." And as he stood there, someone came by, Mr. Geeky, flashing his torch on the ground. Mr. Meddle was, of course, pleased. "Hello, Mr. Geeky. Hello. Are you going to Mistress Penny's party? Can I come with you? My torch is broken." "Well, come along then," Mr. Geeky said. And he flashed his torch at Mr. Meddle. Mr. Meddle ran up to him and together they went along the road. Off they went to Miss Penny's party. Well, it was such a lovely party. There were many people, plenty of good things to eat. Look, there were 3 chocolate cakes, 6 pink jellies. Do you want to show me 6 on your fingers, guys? That's a big number because you have to use your 2 hands to count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So they had 3 chocolate cakes, 6 pink jellies, and some egg sandwiches. A fruit salad with a big jug of cream. Really, Mr. Meddle was so excited. He didn't remember when he had enjoyed himself more. Oh, there were games to play. And after a while, Mistress Penny cleared away the chairs, rolled up the carpet and said, "Let's all dance." And she put on the record player and they all began to dance. They put on some music, began to dance. Okay, well, by the time it was 10 o'clock, do you know how to tell the time? If you do, I want you to look at your clock right now. What time is it? Okay. Anyway, 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the guests began to go home. But Mr. Meddle didn't go home because he always liked to stay till the very, very last. But then it was 12 o'clock. First it was 10 o'clock, then it was 12 o'clock. How much time do you think had passed between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock? Can you do the math for me? I know I've got smart kids on this channel because if you're here, you're smart. So do the math. How many? 10 and 12. If you know the answer, put it in the comments. I'm going to look through all your comments to talk to you, smart kids, about your answer. Okay. By 12 o'clock, he had to go because there was nothing more left to eat. And Mistress Penny wanted to go to bed. So Meddle put on his hat and his coat and he looked around for Mr. Geeky. But guess what? Mr. Geeky had gone home. Oh my goodness. Mr. Meddle was so frustrated. He thought about it Mr. Geeky has the torch. Mine is broken. How am I gonna see? How am I gonna go home in the dark? Well, Mistress Penny said, "You gotta find a way because you're not gonna sleep in my house." "Oh well, I suppose I shall find my way all right." Mr. Meddle said goodbye to Mistress Penny and he began to go carefully down the path. He got to the gate and guess what? He ran straight into the gate. Can you see? It's dark. So we can't see much of Mr. Meddle because it's dark. But he walked straight into the gate and he was like, "Oh my gosh, what sort of bruise am I going to have tomorrow?" Anyway, he stepped up to the pavement and began to make his way slowly up the road, up the road, up the road. He walked into a black cat who spat at him and scratched his leg. He fell off the curb at least 3 times and he sat down heavily in the gutter. Oh, poor Mr. Meddle. At last he came to his own street. Well, at least he thought it was. It wasn't really, but it was so dark that Mr. Meddle didn't know that it was the wrong street. His house was the 3rd one in his street. So Meddle counted the front gates he came to. 1 gate, 2 gates, 3 gates. This is my house! Yay! And he went in the gate, walked up the path to the front door, and he took out his door key. But guess what? It didn't fit. He tried it, tried to turn it in the lock, but the door remained shut. He was angry. What is the matter with this key? Why doesn't it open the door? What a nuisance for it to go wrong at this time of the night. What am I going to do? But then he thought about it. He said, "You know what? I'm going to go to see if the back window is open." And he went round to the back, falling over a dustbin on the way. He came to the back window, tried to see if it would open. Yes, it did. Good, good, good. Now he could get in and go to bed. He climbed in through the kitchen window, got into the kitchen, felt about for a lamp, but he couldn't find one. And he thought about it. He was like, "Well, I really thought there was one lamp at the kitchen table. I suppose there wasn't after all. Well, I must go up to bed without a light." He found the stairs and he tumbled onto the stairs, came to the top, tried to find the handle of his door, but somehow it didn't seem to be in the right place. Anyway, he found the door handle at last, turned it, and the first thing he did was walk straight into the bed. Now, the bed surely shouldn't be here. He was astonished. It should be over in the corner. Who's been meddling with my room while I've been out? Just wait till I catch them, putting my bed out in the middle of the room just like that. He undressed himself in the dark, still grumbling. Felt around for his bedside table, but it wasn't there. At last he got into bed, fell asleep almost at once because he was very tired. He slept until the sun was quite high in the sky, and then he woke up and opened his eyes. Guess what he saw? The walls were pink instead of green. His house had green wallpaper. Why is the wallpaper on this wall pink? He looked around the room. There was a pink carpet on the floor. Mr. Meddle knew he had only one green rug. There was an armchair, there were 2 cushions, there were 2 pink blankets, pink sheets. He looked at everything and he thought, this is magic, real life magic. I go to bed in my own little green bedroom. I wake up in the most beautiful pink one with an armchair with the most comfortable bed I've ever slept in. Whoa, this is magic, wonderful magic. He lay down in the soft bed enjoying himself. Well, he was hungry. And then he wondered, I wonder if there are servants in this house who could cook for him and make him a marvelous breakfast. Ooh, how fine that would be. There was a bell nearby in the wall, so Meddle pressed it hard. Ding! Nobody came. Ding, ding, ding! Because he could hear people moving around in the house. Then he heard a voice saying, "Oh, there's that bell again! There's nobody at the front door and nobody at the back, so who can be ringing the bell? Ding!" There was the sound of footsteps coming upstairs. "I do believe it's my spare room bell," said the voice. And in came a woman with a red overall tied around her. Meddle stared. "Bring me some breakfast, please." "Well, and what may you be doing here, I should like to know, in my spare room bed?" the woman asked. "I don't know what you're talking about. Bring me some breakfast. I'm hungry." Wow, so rude, Mr. Meddle. "Well, hungry you have to be." And she tipped Mr. Meddle out of the warm bed. "How dare you sleep here? You wicked, wicked fellow. You get out of my house at once." "Madam, how dare you treat me like this in my own house?" Mr. Meddle said. He was angry by now. He climbed into bed again. The woman tipped him out of the bed again. And she took hold of poor Mr. Meddle, who was dressed in his best shirt, and walked him to the stairs and sent him down the stairs. And down rolled Mr. Meddle, bum by bum by bum. The woman ran down after him, opened the front door, and pushed him into the garden. "I'm going to policeman," Mr. Meddle cried. "I will not be turned out of my house like this." And off he rushed to find a policeman. He found Mr. Plod, the policeman, and begged him to follow him to his house to see the woman who had thrown him out of his house. Of course, when they got there was nobody at all. No woman, no pink bedroom, no room with pink wallpaper. Mr. Meddle couldn't believe his eyes. "But where are my clothes? I know I left them in the pink bedroom, Mr. Plod, because I saw them there this morning. Oh, Mr. Plod, where are my clothes?" Mr. Plod didn't know. He thought Mr. Meddle was being silly, and he left him down the road and went up the next one. And right there, he saw the rest of Mr. Meddle's clothes. The woman had thrown them out of the window after Mr. Meddle, and there they were. To this day, Mr. Meddle doesn't really know what happened. But do you? Do you know what happened? What do you think happened to Mr. Meddle? Was it magic? Was someone playing a trick on him? Or was he just being silly? That's the end of our story. If you enjoyed this story, do come back for some more. And make sure you talk about the words you learned in the story, the numbers you saw, the hours you counted, and the colors we learned about in the story. How many colors did you see? That's a very nice. How many did you see? Thank you for watching.